Hello everyone, welcome to the 5 Minutes Discovery channel. Surely you have seen the Chinese Genghis Khan movies and Chinese historical movies or the Mongol army, right? Or have we heard about the once powerful Mongol army? When the horse gets hurt, grass grows there. Yes, Mongolia was once one of the most powerful empires in the world, stretching from the Sea of Japan to Eastern Europe. So what is Mongolia like today? Is there anything interesting about Mongolia that we should learn about right away? Before we get into how, remember to like and share, especially subscribe to the channel to support me. Now let's go find out. Mongolia's full name is Mongolia, a country stretching from Central Asia to East Asia. The north of the country borders Russia, the remaining three sides are surrounded by China. Mongolia does not have a common border with Kazakhstan, but the westernmost point of this country is only 38 kilometers from the easternmost point of Kazakhstan, so when looking on a map, many people will mistake the two countries as bordering each other. Mongolia's area is quite large with more than 1,500,000 square kilometers. But its population is only 3.3 million people, so Mongolia has the lowest population density in the world. There are two high mountain ranges. The Altay Mountains extend from the western border to the southeast and gradually transform into a plateau called the Gobi Altai. The mountain range includes the 4,374-meter Khuiten Peak. The border of Mongolia and China runs through the peak. Near the center of the country is the Khangai range, about 400 kilometers west of Ulanbataar. Mongolia's average altitude is 1,580 meters. The landscape includes one of Asia's largest freshwater lakes, Lake Khövsgöl, numerous salt lakes, swamps, sand dunes, rolling grasslands, alpine forests, and permanent glaciers. 9. Northern and western Mongolia are seismically active areas, with frequent earthquakes and many hot springs and dormant volcanoes. The country's closest point to any ocean is approximately 645 kilometers, 401 miles, from the country's easternmost tip bordering northern China to Jinzhou in Liaoning province, China, along the coast of the Sea Bohai. Highland. Mongolia has two main mountain ranges. The highest peak is the Altay Mountains, which stretch across the western and southwestern regions of the country on a northwest-southeast axis. Mongolia's highest peak is the 4,734-meter Khuiten Peak. The Khangai Mountains, mountains oriented northwest to southeast, occupy much of central and north-central Mongolia. These are older, lower and more eroded mountains, with more forests and alpine meadows. Most of eastern Mongolia is occupied by a plain, and the lowest area lies southwest-northeast from the Gobi Desert region in the south to the eastern border. Rivers and lakes. Many rivers in western Mongolia terminate in lakes in the Central Asian Inland Drainage Basin, most commonly in the Great Lakes Depression, or at Hulan Lake, Ulan Lake, or Ulanggur Lake. A few streams in southern Mongolia do not reach the sea but run into lakes or deserts. The most widely developed river in the north and the country's main river system is the Selengei River, which flows through Lake Baikal to the Arctic Ocean. Several tributaries of Siberia's Yenisei River, which also flows into the Arctic Ocean, rise in the mountains of northwestern Mongolia. In northeastern Mongolia, the Onon River flows into the Pacific Ocean via the Shilka River in Russia, and the Amur River forms the 10th longest river system in the world. Mongolia's largest lake by area, Uvs Lake, is located in the Great Lakes Depression. Mongolia's largest lake by volume, Lake Khövsgöl, flows through the Selengei River to the Arctic Ocean. One of Mongolia's most easterly lakes, Ho Naul, at 557 meters, is the lowest point in the country. In total, Mongolia's lakes and rivers cover 10,560 square kilometers, or 0.67% of the country. About climate. Mongolia is high, cold and dry. The country has a harsh continental climate with long, cold winters and short summers during which most of the rain falls. Rainfall is highest in the north, averaging between 200 mm and 350 mm per year, and lowest in the south, ranging from 100 to 200 mm. Average temperatures across most of the country are below freezing from January to March, and near freezing during April and October. Winter nights can drop to -40 degrees Celsius most years. Summer maximums reach 38 degrees Celsius in the southern Gobi region and 33 degrees Celsius. Mongolia's weather is characterized by extreme variability and short-term predictability in the summer, and on multi-year averages. Hides large variations in precipitation, frost days, and the occurrence of spring blizzards and dust storms. Cereals, mainly wheat, are grown in the valleys of the Selenge River system in the north, but yields fluctuate widely and unpredictably as a consequence of the amount and timing of rain and deadly dew days. About history. In 1206, Chinggis Khan founded the Mongol Empire, the largest empire in history. The territory of the Mongol Empire extended from present-day Poland in the west to the Korean Peninsula in the east, from Siberia in the north to the Arabian Peninsula and Vietnam in the south, covering about 33 million square kilometers. In 1227, after the death of Chinggis Khan, the Mongol Empire was divided into 4 kingdoms. In 1260, Chinggis Khan's grandson, Kublai Khan, ascended the throne of one of the 4 kingdoms that comprised modern-day Mongolia and China. In 1271, Kublai Khan officially established the Yuan dynasty. The Yuan dynasty was the first foreign dynasty to rule all of China until it was overthrown by the Chinese Ming dynasty in 1368. Mongolia was under Soviet-dominated communist rule for nearly 70 years, from 1921 to 1990. In the fall of 1989 and spring of 1990, new currents of political thought began to emerge in Mongolia, inspired by glasnost and perestroika in the Soviet Union, alliance and the collapse of communist regimes in Eastern Europe. In March 1990, a democratic revolution that began with hunger strikes to overthrow the government led to a peaceful abandonment of communism. Mongolia's abandonment of communism led to a multi-party system, a new constitution, and a transition to a market economy. Over the past 2 decades, Mongolia has transformed from a socialist country with a planned economy into a vibrant multi-party democracy with one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. About the economy. Mongolia is a country with many natural resources and is considered the new navel of the earth. Under the vast deserts are iron, copper and uranium mines. In 2011, when copper and iron ore prices skyrocketed, Mongolia's economic growth was the fastest in the world with an increase of 17.29%, but after only a few years, the country's economy slipped. Mongolia's GDP growth rate in 2014 was 7.89%. In 2015 it was 2.38%. In 2016 down to 1.17%. In 2018 it was 6.95%. Mongolia's public debt at $30 billion is more than twice the national GDP. Mongolia's per capita income at purchasing power parity in 2020 is $12,970 US. However, the living standards of people in this country are still quite different, with up to 36% of people living below the poverty line. These poor people only earn about $2 a day. Meanwhile, there are super-rich people with luxurious lives, full of amenities. One can see skyscrapers, super-luxury cars, bars or very modern buildings in Mongolia. A garbage-free paradise. In the 21st century, it is difficult to find a place without the presence of trash, yet many people have stepped into paradise, but can't find a single piece of trash. Mong Highlands. Neck. Just go out of the city not far and you can see vast green carpets that follow one another, endlessly like a giant carpet between heaven and earth. You can let your soul follow the free birds, roaming on horseback to live life like nomads here. Mongolians have a very high sense of environmental protection. They never litter the environment. After each move, the trash is collected and brought back to the city, delivered to the correct collection point. This habit is gradually being followed by tourists. It seems that no one can afford to let the grassland be marred by trash. Monuments everywhere. In the capital Ulanbataar, statues of Genghis Khan are everywhere, from solemn positions to simple places, in tents and especially always present in the living decorations of many nomads. The country is still poor, but Mongolia dares to spend over $4 million to invest in a monumental monument and museum complex. The statue of Genghis Khan is about 40 meters high, with a majestic and powerful face, riding on horseback with a majestic appearance, facing the east, where he was born. That's enough to see how they idolized Genghis Khan and the kings of the old empire. The navy is only in the lake. Mongolia has no sea, but people cannot believe that the Mongolian government still spends money to buy ships and often uses one of these ships to transport oil across Khövsgöl Lake to Russia. Not only ships, Mongolia also has a navy of up to 7 people. The job of Mongolian Navy soldiers is very simple, being a tour guide. It's strange that among them there is only one person who knows how to swim, sailor Batbayan. He also plays a rescue role when tourists are in trouble. Although there were many accidents and deaths, he himself saved 2 people. Dear friends, just a short exploration of the country of Mongolia. Thank you for watching this video. If you find it interesting, remember to like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Hello and see you soon. Again.